Today is December 13th, Saturday, December 13th, 2025, and I have a good theme today because I did put up my sign, my I don't know if you can see it way up there. It says "not for sissies," and all right, look. And okay, now I got, look, I'm making it come out. Attach it way back there, you know. Make it stronger, like a T. And then I'm gonna attach it. I'm gonna attach it to over here that I built a long time ago. And all that is the chair, you know, a seat with a recliner built in already, because I predetermined like exactly the lean and everything, and the way the neck went back to look right up at the trees. Actually, to look right up there, wherever it was, you know. All right. Well, look, this is not for sissies. Not for sissies. And so I put that above Climb Every Mountain and love your mama to the bottom of her sea. So, all right, well, okay. And I know that I have a certain kind of end in mind. All right, the end in mind is actually just this, all right? It's a Nat King Cole song that my mom played when I was very, very young, and I have her Nat King Cole albums. And as soon as I get done fixing my kitchen and stuff like that and getting the place fixed up regularly, then I'm gonna put that stuff out so I can play those records. But I can't do it until I get things fixed upright. But on her album, Nat King Cole album, one of them, okay, because he was a kind of a person that, you know, like, he knew about, I don't know what you would call, like, okay, like, if you're rich, okay, you can afford certain luxuries, okay. One of those luxuries is the finer things in life, okay. But some people that aren't rich still have a keen kind of sensitivity toward the finer things in life. And they actually know what it is and appreciate it more, so they can actually, you know, talk about it and stuff like that, which Nat King Cole did in his music, because he was that kind of guy. All right, obviously, and he was a black guy too. So that starts from the underside. Starts from the underside, okay? Every rising of power and passion starts from the underside, okay? Okay? And look, on one of my last talks, I said Sun Tzu is boss. Okay, and Sun Tzu does not come from the underside, all right? Sun Tzu comes from the top side down. So I just wanted to mark that differentiation right there. Without saying one is bad or one is not bad, or one is good or one is right or one is wrong or anything like that, because as I had said before, it's the yin and the yang, or the yin and the yang, however you want to say it, okay? It's the black and the white and the white and the black, and they're interwoven like that, okay? The yin and the yang. or the yin and the yang. All right. Well, that was a long way around, this point here. Says something to the effect of man is a fool. When it's hot, he wants it cool. When it's cool, he wants it hot. Ever wanting what is not. All right, well, that is one part actually you have to hold in suspension and consideration and keep that right there present and there with voice in the consideration of when I say not for sissies. Okay? Because I'm saying that, look, my upbringing taught me from living in different kinds of weather. Okay, because I was fortunate to lived in the beloved forests of Wisconsin, where the snow was high, and the snow mountains were big from snowplows pushing up them mountains of snow. Yeah. All right, paving the way for the parking lots and getting yourself out of blizzards and shoveling in hours and hours, shoveling in the snow, and the snow is blurry and all over the place and blurry and stuff like that, and it's flying all over the place, and it's snowing and it lands and it melts and it cakes and stuff like that. Yeah, you go through all that. You feel the wetness. Sometimes snow is wet, sometimes it's dry. People that never encountered the snow don't even know that much. They don't even know that sometimes snow is wet and sometimes it's dry. And it makes a big difference, especially how you're going to pack your snowman too. If it's dry, it won't pack. Or your snowball fights or whatever. All right, look, and people up north, they go out and they go hunting in the snow blizzard for their deer. And look, man, they drive through the snow in snowmobiles wrapped up in stuff and layers of clothing to keep themselves warm and insulated boots and goggles, because otherwise you won't be able to see after 5 minutes. Look, and you better know about snowmobiles, all right? Otherwise, you ain't gonna survive if you don't know about snowmobiles. You gotta at least know how to keep a snowmobile running. I mean, Jesus Christ. The heck happens if you're in a blizzard out there stuck and everything? You need get something emergency, okay? One thing you got is you got your snowmobile. It's not the land for pussies or sissies. Because I said okay, and I wanted to make this okay, since that was kind of like a Freudian slip, all right? I do believe that sissies and pussies actually means the same thing. All right? And that is just a person that's going to cower beneath the weight of the adversity, of the snow, of the wind. Well, look, I'm thinking about this because today I got my cap on to keep warm, and I'm in Florida, and now I'm like I'm gonna call it a wussy. I ain't gonna say it's a pussy, I ain't gonna say it's a sissy. I'm just gonna call this one a wussy, okay? Because I've compromised a little bit, all right? Like, I don't know what the temperature is. It's probably like maybe like 60 or something. Okay. Look, when I lived in Wisconsin, all right, we went swimming when it was 76 degrees out. All right. All right. Anyway. All right. So I'm just gonna play this real quick because I don't know. All right. I like this guy because he's talking from Ukraine. Okay, who is like the underdog, and I was talking about underdog earlier, but here.
This is what Secretary General Mark Rutte of NATO had to say. Play this clip.
We need to be ready, because at the end of this first quarter of the 21st century, conflicts are no longer fought at arm's length. Conflict is at our door. Russia has brought war back to Europe, and we must be prepared for the scale of war our grandparents and great-grandparents endured. Imagine it, a conflict reaching every home, every workplace. Destruction, mass mobilization, millions displaced, widespread suffering and extreme losses. It is a terrible thought. But if we deliver on our commitments, this is a tragedy we can prevent. NATO is here to protect 1 billion people on both sides of the Atlantic. Our mission is to protect you, your families, your friends, and your future. We cannot let down our guard, and we won't.
Now, folks, I always say that the most important things often get the least attention in corporate media. Let me ask you this. Have you heard that?
All right. Just so I could capture the spirit of that guy right there. Because, see, he is kind of like the link, like what he was talking about, okay? And in fact, what he was talking about, in my opinion, is so poignant, like Poignant, poignant. Okay, it's like so much right on the point of the needle, right there, where the very, very point is of the center of the whole thing, okay? And if you don't start from the right premise, from the right point, anything you do is going to be off, all right? Okay, so I'm saying that guy right there, in my opinion, for me, kind of really captured, you know, the point of war, avoiding war at all costs, and, you know, that play what he said about right before when he said, is that our doorstep? War is at our doorstep? Well, I was expecting actually to hear something else. But when he said right at your doorstep, which is something I'm going to have to reanalyze, I understood that he was looking at things from a higher perspective and saying, come on now, giddy up. Giddy up, horsey. Let's ride. Because war is right at our doorstep, and that is what Sun Tzu, you know, was talking about. And he said, look, if you need to pay attention to war, the ravages of war, what war costs, and you'll never be the same from war. But that's why I started out, okay? That's why I put up on my tower up there, you know? Not for sissies. Because you gotta climb the mountain of truth. Alright? And so don't ever quit climbing the mountain of truth. Because once you quit climbing the mountain of truth, then you're gonna lose your direction. And the mountain of truth is, like I said, it's like new every day, okay? We have to keep climbing that mountain. Alright, look, I'm just saying there is a way in all of your doings to still follow that one thing, okay? That one point of climbing the mountain of truth, or descending the canyon of truth, or whatever, however you want to look at it, you know? But I'm just saying. And it's not for sissies. You have to put forth some effort. And it can be fun, because the more times you do things, the more funner it does become, because you realize that when you're standing at the cliff, at the razor's edge, you can keep going, alright, you can. Alright, you can keep going. You don't get paralyzed in fear. You can keep going. And you must, and you will. So, that's, see, we're being a sissy or a pussy is differentiated from having courage and taking a step forward in faith, all right? Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Evidence of things not seen. Alright. Put that parentheses around it. It's evidence of things not seen, right? So it's easy for us to figure out this kind of stuff that is not seen, alright? Okay, we can figure that out, right? So put parentheses around that. The substance of things hoped for. Now look at that part. Alright. Now, I've been talking a long time about the substance of things hoped for. And that I think that is, like my mom said, you create your own reality. We bring these things into existence. There's a substance of things hoped for. Sometimes, alright, when you're on the razor's edge and you consider what is the substance of things hoped for. Okay, you're standing there on the razor's edge. You're standing there, okay? Alright? You're stable, you're there, okay? What are the things that are hoped for? And what is the substance of those things? And then that's what faith is. The substance of those things. Well, I'm just going to call this one Razor's Edge and leave it at that. It has something to do with, you know, climbing the mountain of truth. And that, the edge of everything that you hope for and wish and desire. When you look at what the substance of that is, And then you make your assessment about, you know, what you're going to do when you are at the razor's edge, because civilization is going to push you, just like this guy said, you know. A war is at our door. And that is the razor's edge. And that is where Sun Tzu lives. All right. Okay, that's where Sun Tzu lives. Sun Tzu actually does live at the razor's edge. But I'm going to just call this one Razor's Edge. And leave this one for consideration. And I have documented, you know, the progress I've made that I did put up on the very top. Not for sissies. Alright.